And then we have to talk about TJ Dillashaw being suspended for 2 years and deciding he's not even contesting it. So, which is basically an admission of guilt, right? And what he got flagged for was EPO, which is I don't know all the technological terms about everything, but it increases your red blood cell count, and I guess it can only be found in your system through means of injection. So he didn't get mixed up in some protein powder through one of his supplement lines that he's sponsored by or something. Like, he had to knowingly take this stuff. And I mean, according to Jeff Nowitzki, it's pretty bad stuff, so he knew it was illegal. And honestly, more than anything, like, I just feel disappointment because it's disrespectful to the other competitors, and it's disrespectful to everybody around you. It's disrespectful to people you compete against and the people in your inner circle. Like, you got to think about how Cody must feel. And I know that you can say that Cody fought dumb, but like, when you're taking stuff like that, it just increases your confidence and your ability to push through like training camp, and maybe your willingness to commit to certain combinations because you're pretty goddamn sure that this stuff is going to help you. Red blood cell count is an oxygen deliverer, right? I mean, like, it's going to help your cardio and your endurance. So you can commit to things and throw things harder without the fear of exhaustion. I think it completely changes your game plan in a fight. Like, if you're not taking that, I think you might have completely different results. It's so hard to tell, right? I mean, we can never be sure, but disrespectful to your opponents. Disrespectful to the Sam, I'm going to mispronounce, I always get it confused. It's like Calavito or Calavita. Disrespectful to him because you're bragging about all this training and all this science behind all this stuff that this guy's doing for you. And I mean, look how bad this looks on him now. Like, was the things he was doing for you, was it actually working, or was it just a result of you doping? Dwayne Ludwig, who is, constantly, and rightfully so. I mean, I think TJ has flawless technique. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, that motherfucker. I always say, if you could build a fighter from top to bottom, it would look a lot like TJ. The way that he's able to mix things up. The way that he's, his technique is pretty fucking flawless, and I think a lot of that is owed to Dwayne Ludwig. But look how bad this looks on him now, because it delegitimizes some of your wins over your career because this is always going to be over your head. And whether he was taking it at the time that he fought Cody, we don't really know. Those are assumptions, right? I'm just pointing out that this is going to be a problem for him. It's going to tarnish his legacy a little bit, and it might have been just a response to the weight cut at 125. Like, he might have felt like, fuck, this weight cut's really going to take a toll on my cardio. I need to gain a competitive advantage here because Henry's doing this all the fucking time. Like, this is his home. So, disappointing. And I don't really have another word for it. I mean, I'm not necessarily disgusted. I think that he was just trying to gain an edge. Like, is it wrong? Yes, 100%. But just when you look at what TJ's accomplished and how I constantly say, like, this guy, I mean, watch this motherfucker fight. He does everything right, nearly everything. So to find out that he's looking for some illegal way to gain an edge over guys in one of the deepest weight classes in the UFC, it pisses you off a little bit.